where you followed. Good. These are the Grayson files. Tell no one. So, today, I think, kind of got like a slow day. Today was actually supposed to be the day that, the government, was gonna meet to, decide what to do. And what actually ended up happening was, the Senate and the House met for about 4 minutes. They met for 4 minutes. That's more annoying than anything else. It's just, I mean, who do these people think they are? And I'm not talking about the Democrats, because you can't really, I mean, change the channel. You can't really go anywhere on Twitter or any news site without hearing the opinion of a Democrat, or listening to them, to their condemnations of the Republicans' behavior. And I mean, that's why they probably only met for 4 minutes. I mean, from a PR point of view, you know how they say, bad publicity is good publicity. Well, that doesn't really apply to politics, because no publicity is good publicity, pretty much, when it comes to politics. And I mean, now that I think about it, that's probably why it was, they only met for 4 minutes, because they didn't want basically anyone to know anything. I mean, they're not really talking. Sure, there's like congressmen on TV, but I mean, you don't really see the people in charge talking. They've all said what they needed to say. And I mean, it's just kind of weird, because I feel we're owed an explanation. I mean, they didn't, it's not that they just shut down the government, it's that they decided to shut down the government because of something that they hadn't announced. They hadn't really, if they were gonna take up a fight like that, I mean, they should have told their voters earlier, like, we're not gonna agree with this deal unless they support border security. I think they owed their constituents that, at least that much. And yeah, and then this trip to Iraq, that was a huge spectacle. I mean, they're not even gonna like bother with anything, because I mean, this whole thing with revealing the identities of that covert operation, it should be a bigger deal than it is, considering what the president did, pulling out of Syria like that. on Putin's request. I don't know. So I'm not gonna talk for like 15 minutes. I don't even know if that's what I usually do. I'm gonna try and take it easy tonight because you know, if they can take a day off, I can take a day off. Yeah, and I think I want to catch up on everything. Maybe we'll go on social media and find out what everyone said. But I mean, you know, we're in the middle of a government shutdown. They meet for 8 minutes. They don't even, I don't even know if they said when they would meet again. But I mean, what's happening? I mean, are they even discussing? Like, are there even arguments being had? Because that's what there damn well better be arguments and shouting matches because you know what? Like, this is completely unacceptable. Um, because I mean the argument for their wall ends at um Trump promised that he would build the wall, but he also promised that someone else would pay for it. And case closed. That's it. There's nothing else to be said. I mean, if he can't get us healthcare, is he gonna like make everyone pay for free healthcare? It's not really gonna be free healthcare. It's just gonna be a crazy tax on everyone on top of what they're already being taxed for. Um, what else? I mean, is he gonna ban Muslims and also ban, you know, people, every single person from the Middle East or whatever? I don't know. Who knows? I'm just saying he can't make his promise something else and then tell people that he's delivering on his promise. Like he's not. Okay, so let's go ahead and Google. Now let's get the full scope of everything that's happened. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this because it makes me look dumb, and I'm already struggling with this thing. Iraq. Okay, so now we're taking a peek into our country's subconscious, so to speak. Trump Iraq visit is called a political rally. Trump's reveal of SEAL team in Iraq could endanger its members. Trump says he has no plans to pull out of Iraq after his visit there. Oh. I mean, is that really something he had to say? I mean, yes and no, because I mean, why wouldn't he say he would pull out of Iraq, and why does it matter if he doesn't at this point? I don't know. kind of weird. Maybe he wants the access, because you know what, at this point I'm just see people, it's not me, not just me that's making a big deal out of this. Other people that are familiar with this sort of thing are really upset. They're really upset. It's just man, when look, this isn't really something we have a choice about. Like, sure, the United States has messed with other countries, but it doesn't mean we need to just hand over our country to someone else. I mean, you've seen how fragile we are, and you know, it just took some idiot getting elected into office, and like we didn't even know that he was compromised, and it just took, you know, some stupid things that he said and ignited the public, and now like all these white nationalists, alt-right people are like, you know, influencing our president. I mean, that's wow. Damn. It's just, I feel like I'm getting a taste of my own medicine, because I've always been kind of like resistant to, like, you know what I mean, the way things usually work. But this is just like, oh boy, this is just I mean, if someone's trying to teach me a lesson, they shouldn't make anyone else suffer. Okay, so I wanna see exactly what went down. I wish we had saved um the trip, or what was the call sign? I think it was this. Huh. What about one less? This one? Nope. Okay. Will it work if I... Alright, president call sign. Okay, here it is. Here's the here's the profile. Where to go? Okay, let's just type in the name. Aircraft spots. Aircraft spots. Now, most likely he just went over to Germany and then came back. But I want to make sure, because you know, if he if he just did this out of nowhere during a government shutdown, we should after he pulled out. I'm not gonna repeat myself, but let's just make sure that's what happened. So, oh, so then he did just come right back. Okay, well, that's good. Hmm, that's okay. So, I mean, now we know what happened. I mean, he went to Iraq and he went to Germany. I mean, how long was he in Iraq? I think it was the same, an hour and a half or whatever. So, I mean, what could he have done? What could he have done? Because I mean, let's just say the idiot had a mission, and let's just say his mission was going over there and just like checking out what. Because I mean, it is a big deal that he does that because I mean, basically our safest location in the Middle East is probably Iraq. Like it's definitely Iraq. Unless it's like what? Like Afghanistan. But I mean, it's not anymore. That's my point. It's not because he's pulling out of Afghanistan. So so that means the sole purpose, regardless of his whatever his intentions may have been, was going to Iraq. NATO jets intercept 3 Russian aircraft over Baltic. Ah. All right, so I mean he goes to Iraq, and let's just make sure that we have this correct. Okay, Syria, Putin. Let's find out exactly what happened. Oh, I'm not even seeing like that he maybe he didn't ask. Who knows? But I'm pretty sure I heard that somewhere. Now I want to know for sure. Huh. Maybe he didn't. Who knows? I mean, how would he have? I mean, let's just say that. Well, here's the thing. The last time, um, I mean, when was the last time Trump and Putin met? I mean, here's the thing. If Trump and Putin are meeting, and Putin is, because look, it's, I think by now we have enough surrounding evidence to, indicate that something is up. Something is definitely up. Maybe it's not everything that we said, but I think people are saying that like um everything in the dossier has been like proven true. Now, I haven't had a chance to verify that, but like, you know what? Like, people are gonna make a big deal out of the things that they can, and they're gonna jump all over that. And you know what? At this point, I'm gonna go ahead and give them this one, and then check later. But I mean, I think it's pretty much it's pretty much for certain that Putin helped Trump get elected. Now, if he has anything on Trump, then, or, you know, kind of help him get out of debt, which is what I think he did, and like lent him all kinds of money because Putin can do that. Um, then Trump's gonna do whatever Putin says. Now, I think the last time they met was I don't remember, but it was only for a very short while. So I mean, Trump probably or Putin probably had to make it quick. Cause remember what happened last time? They were gonna meet, and then he got on the plane, and as soon as he got on the plane, they said, "No, we're not gonna meet." Now, that could have been in itself information that Trump was passing along. In other words, oh, they're on to us. Because that was pretty damn quick. That was pretty damn quick that he just like, oh, I can't go. Like, usually he probably would have, you know, at least waited like an hour, you know, because Trump is so concerned with not looking weak in the media. Like, no, it was instant. It was instant. As though, you know, telling Putin maybe that they're onto him or onto us, them both. So they meet for, you know, a very short while. And I mean, Putin would have had to have had like one big thing to ask and ask it really quickly. I mean, you know what I mean? Cuz what else could they have? I mean, they just had to have met because that's like the only secure way of exchanging, of making exchanges. Like that, there's no other way. Like they have to meet because Putin can't come over here, and Trump is not going to go over there. And what they're doing is way too valuable. It's too risky. So like, and plus, I think the last meeting was in Argentina, and um, you know, in Argentina, there's probably like less of a chance of getting like hacked or spied on because I mean Argentina is surrounded by like just like poor people houses pretty much. Like Argentina is pretty poor. Argentina's pretty poor. So like there's not that many like Wi-Fi hotspots or satellites flying overhead. It's just like safer to do things like that. So they definitely had an exchange because, you know, even after all of this and don't meet with Putin, don't meet with Putin, we're not gonna meet. They still met for like even a little, like really quick. So I mean, maybe he was just like, okay, I want you to pull out of Syria, and that's definitely a possibility. You can get that out in a sentence, and you know, who knows? Let's see. Let's find out when the last, because that was a while ago. So I'm pretty sure they met again. Okay, so this was in November. Long and thorough meeting. Oh, and look at that. The Kremlin is expecting a long and thorough meeting between US President. Okay, so look, let me translate that a little bit. The Kremlin is the Kremlin is saying, so Putin is expecting Trump to be at the G20 meeting, and he's expecting him to uh, do a bunch of things that he wants done. And now all of a sudden, Trump cancels the meeting, and so then Putin has to make a change to what to his direction, and maybe he just tells him to. Maybe he just tells them something that is a little bit more simplified, just a little bit more simple to execute or whatever. And which is also like a reaction to them being caught, pretty much. Because I mean, basically, my theory is that Bolton probably found out about some source of intelligence, and like was like, okay, they're on to us, they're gonna spy on us at the G20, and probably told Trump, and Trump was like, okay, we gotta tell Putin, so let's just cancel the meeting right now as soon as I got on the plane, and then he's gonna know. I mean, honestly, that sounds like a rock solid thing that probably happened. So going back to this thing with Iraq. Now, I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Iraq. I think it's Iraq. I don't know. But look, penetrating in Iraq HQ or whatever, that would probably be pretty high up on Putin's things to do. Now, Putin is not going to rest until he basically can start making money off the US. Like that's when he'll be like, okay, I'm gonna bail. Like that's basically his like he won't consider it a win until he does that. Like, and I mean, if he's pulled out of Syria, if we're pulling out of Syria and Afghanistan, then I mean, there's pretty much no reason for us to be in Iraq. And you know, if you make a surprise trip, let's just put it this way: if Putin is actually connected to like this entire like Syria and ISIS thing, like then he would probably know like what would be going down at any given point. So like let's say like there's like this crazy meeting with ISIS in Iraq or whatever, and the US is gonna do like some kind of mission. Like he doesn't know if Iraq is gonna do if the US and Iraq is gonna do something about it, but he knows that's there. So I mean, by sending Trump like as a surprise and like just getting any kind of information, just like that tells him a lot. And that probably tells him how much we know about that particular thing. And I mean, he probably now knows how far into it we are. Because, like, who knows? I mean, that team could have been on their way out the door. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could have been on their way out the door. We'll never know because it was a secret. It was a covert mission, people. And Trump just prances in and blows their cover. Now, I don't even know why Republicans aren't making a bigger deal out of this. Like, if let's just put it this way: if any other Republican president had done the same, they would be very upset. They would be crying foul play. And like they've done, I haven't heard anything today about no Republicans complaining. Like, that's because they have something to hide now. And I mean, wow, I don't know. And I mean, he could have gone to Iraq and like picked something up and dropped it off at like. Because I mean, look, regardless of what has gone down or whatever, like Trump has a person at every country because he's chosen their ambassadors. So I mean, we don't know if the ambassador to Germany is like if he's like not like dirty, but you know, if he is like basically he could have just like dropped something off from Iraq, handed it off to his ambassador, and I mean, once it's in Germany, like basically, I mean, Germany is like a hotspot for like European goings ons, and like yeah, once it's in Germany, it could basically be anywhere. I mean, it could be in the Netherlands in no time, where for sure Trump's ambassador is like a white nationalist, and you know some people in the government of Netherlands are actually white nationalists too. Like not the government, but like there's a lot of people there that are kind of leaning towards that kind of thing, and man, I don't know, crazy. And I mean, once it's there, it's with the Brexit people who like are kind of taking advantage of like poor people. Like they told them all these things and like that they didn't benefit from the EU, and I mean they kind of didn't. But the thing is, the EU was like I don't know. It was kind of meant to benefit big business, and like they should have just changed it. Um. So anyway, I mean, let's go ahead and take a look at some who have I been following here? Okay, so I think this person kind of like talks about like because I don't really want to know about like I don't really want to know about like domestic stuff. That we can look at that some other time. Oh, let's take a look at this, right? I just want to kind of look around. Okay, the Kurds are becoming a central focus in the discussion about Trump's Syria withdrawal. Context is crucial to be effective advocates. Now, this would be the key ingredient into uh, causing a chaotic stir up in NATO, which is probably what Trump or what Putin wants the most. He probably wants NATO in flames. Let's just say. So I mean, and man, I mean, Putin. I'm not saying he's not a genius. He's just like he's scrappy, let's just say, and he doesn't care about the value of Russians. Um, I mean, he's basically just like willing to go too far for like one thing, and it doesn't matter how, and he doesn't care what the outcome is, because basically he can do that because I mean, he's pretty much isolated. So, I mean, I don't know. He should probably just resign. That's fine. Probably just leave Russia and let them kind of recover. Um, Context is crucial to be effective advocates. Let's start with some history. Who are Kurds? Okay. So, the Kurds have been the U.S.-led forces most reliable local ally against Al Qaeda, ISIS. Oh my God! And before he was toppled, Saddam Hussein. So, oh wow! So these people apparently, man, I mean, they're basically like an indigenous army that like have been like helping out with every single thing. And Trump just betrayed them. That's insane. The Kurds are motivated to help the United States in large part because Saddam Hussein committed atrocities like Labja in 1988, and the U.S. stepped up to the plate to protect the Kurdish people. So maybe that's why he went to Iraq. Also, there's a lot of symbolism in like all this war stuff. During the first Gulf War in '91, the United States encouraged a Kurdish uprising. The uprising's failure and end of the war led to the necessity of a US-led coalition that protected Iraqi Kurds, the no-fly zone from '92 until the Second Iraq War in 2003. The US had a multi-decade alliance with the Kurds. Many Iraqi and Syrian Kurds heeded the call to fight ISIS. The Kurds recognized the threat to the region and to the Kurdish people. Thus, the Kurds became the backbone of local allies on the ground battling ISIS in coordination with the US and our allies. Well, listen, when people when people are betrayed like this, man, like, these people might join ISIS now. That's the sad part. I mean, when you betray someone like that, like when the Democratic Party betrayed all the Bernie voters, like what did they do? They either voted for Trump or did not vote. And like people take it to heart. People take these things to heart, and so I mean, these people could decide to not necessarily go like become ISIS members, but I mean they could just decide that the Islamic State is a better way than is better than getting attacked by all kinds of people, because I mean these people are suffering. And I mean, look, when 9/11 happened, like, I mean, everyone came to our rescue. Everyone came to help us. Like, no one hesitated. Everyone helped. And when it was discovered that like we invaded Iraq and it was a mistake, I mean, other people helped less, but we had to find a bunch of other people to help us do other things. And now, like, those little countries that all decided to help, like, they're not going to help anymore because we did this to the Kurds. I promise you. And look, I mean, we're talking about genocide now. And it's not like a maybe. It's going to definitely happen because like we turn our backs for like one moment, and what does Assad do? He starts gassing people. Like they're just crazy over there. They do whatever they want, and they have kings, and they have like, for some reason, there's like different kinds of Muslims, and they all hate each other, and it's oh, kind of barbaric. Because look, I mean, that's what happens when you let religion uh interpret your laws, like Sharia law and all that stuff. That's what happens, man. All right, let's go ahead and check. Let's start checking Republicans. Let's go to the GOP Twitter handle and see what the last thing they said. Okay, so just about real Donald Trump made an offer and Chuck Schumer is sitting on his hands. It's time for Democrats to put national security ahead of party politics. Well, I mean, here's my counter argument. Like, are you really putting national security ahead of what Donald Trump wants by letting him pull out of Syria that way? I mean, I don't I don't think they are. I don't think they actually care about national security. Okay, so here Steve Scalise said something. Um so this was from before. Okay, this was from the Iraq trip. Okay, so let's see. And Scalise, of course, didn't really say anything. He retweeted someone else, someone from Alabama who probably doesn't even give a damn. Okay, so they didn't RT anyone, retweet anyone. They just liked some tweets from, oh no, these are old. Wow, okay. So I mean, let's follow their little trail of PR, shall we? Um, Now this is the GOP chairwoman. She's basically in charge of the Republican Party. Um, I mean, I doubt she even has anything with substance to say about anything. She probably just like does whatever Trump asks because to her, the exposure is more important than anything, and she cares more about like Instagram follows than anything else. Let's see if she liked any tweets. Brit Hume. Okay, and this is from Christmas Eve. So let's go to Sarah Sanders. You know, and man, this just proves our theory that the Republicans are shutting us out. I mean, they're basically taking whatever power they have and just hiding with it. Look, December 25th is from Christmas. Paul Ryan. Nope. Christmas Eve. And then that post that we talked about. Okay, Marco Rubio. He always gets upset when Trump messes up with the military. So let's see, Cuba and baseball. Okay, so this man's solution is to support Israel and have Israel fight ISIS now in Syria. It's just like this moron. Like the whole okay, yes, you're dealing with problem 3 and 4, but you're not dealing with problems 1 and 2, which are a direct which are happening because of the first 2 problems. No, because they're happening because of the second problem, and the second problem is happening because of the first problem. Like all these things are causing each other. They're not whatever. I'm so thirsty right now. I don't even know why. Like the whole reason we can't even do anything in the Middle East is because the Jews and the Muslims hate each other. That's the whole problem. And by like this is so messed up because they won't quit with the Saudis and they won't stop making ceremonial gestures with the freaking Jews. Like it's an impossible situation. And like the more Christian these bastards are, the more they support Israel, and it's just this huge cycle, and it needs to stop. Here's you know what? I don't have a single problem with religion or religious people or God, but like when people fail to see how like religion plays a part in this, and like they won't act responsibly, like this is my whole thing. Like, you know what? I don't care if you support the Jews because all these Christians are always saying all these things about other religions, and like why are you then supporting the Jews? Because because Jesus was a Jew. Okay, but you know you don't really need to be making Israel or whatever. You don't need to be moving your ambassador's house. What's it called? I can't think right now. I'm so sleepy. You don't need to be doing that because it's not responsible. And like I don't know. It's like there was all these things that should have been worked out beforehand before you do something like that. But no, because Trump needed the thing, and it's like, and then you have someone like Marco Rubio who is like supposed to be the common sense person now, or the last one left, and then you have him come out with something foolish like this. Oh, let's just help Israel fight ISIS in Syria. Like, don't think anyone else thought of that? Like, and then look what we have here. I was just exposed to the daily trolling of the anti-Semitic dictator Erdogan. This is like worse than like a bunch of little kids. Like, and then it's like now we're supporting Putin. Like dismantling our country little by little. Like it's just these people need to get a clue, and they need to realize that we are onto them.